Welcome back. Today we're talking about horror apparel, which lately there seems to be a lot more of available out there in the wild. So we're going to start off with my most recent order from my old favorite, Fright Rags. So Fright Rags is a website that makes really great horror shirts, socks, pins, pretty much anything at this point it seems, as long as you can wear it. And they've been a big staple of my regular wardrobe for, well, quite a while. The only downside is that they're a little expensive, but they often have sales, and so I tend to go nuts. And that's what I did on their most recent one. So, let's begin. So, kind of a fun thing, they always come in the special, Fright Rags, VHS kind of black bag, which I personally think is a fun touch. So you get a couple of extras in here. So I already opened it up. So you get a little black blind bag kind of thing. It comes with a warhead, like the old candy you may remember from elementary school. And one of these little collector cards. I'll see if the camera focuses on it. Just different scenes from different horror movies. And I think these are collectible to some degree, although I have no idea how many there necessarily are. This one says Series 9, number 3 of 10. So there's a lot. I order from Fright Rags often enough, I kind of wonder if I can actually put together a decent amount of the sets. So, and they come with a little info blurb about the scene that's on the front. So they also come with a sticker of one of the shirt designs, which are always pretty neat. In this particular case, we got an Elvira sticker, which that's nice. So I'm not sure if the Elvira stuff sold out. Sometimes the art on these is one of their they do really limited releases on certain designs, 3 days or 24 hour or something to that effect. And I don't remember actually seeing the Elvira shirt, so it might have been one of those. I could be completely wrong, though, so heck, maybe it's still up there. But the stickers are kind of a nice thing to get. I keep not wanting to, waste them on something that I don't use a lot. So I kind of have, a big stack of them over there. Which maybe I'll break out someday. So then moving on, they've somewhat recently, as in, I think at some point last year, started doing socks. And I've been really happy with all of their socks. So their socks are a little pricey though. I think these are $13-ish or something like that. But they're really good. So the first pair that I got was they have glow-in-the-dark Michael Myers socks. Which I've worn these once. I didn't want to get them too messed up before I had a chance to shoot. And they're pretty comfy. What's kind of nice about them is you can if you're really careful, you can kind of stretch these, kind of higher up your leg and sort of wear them almost like knee socks. Or at least that's what I like to do. And even though the glow is kind of subdued, they do actually glow in the dark. So those were pretty cool. And then they recently got the license for Leslie Vernon. But, well, the Leslie Vernon shirts weren't on sale, but the socks were. So I got Leslie Vernon socks. Which, I haven't had a chance to wear these yet. Again, because I wanted to shoot first, before they got all kind of... So the colors on these, they're really nice and really vivid, but they do fade, a little bit fast. Let's see here. So these are my Leatherface socks that I've had for a while, and you can see it does hold decently, but here down toward the heel, the part that's actually in your shoe, you see how that gets a little dull, but the quality holds up pretty well. I use my gear pretty heavily, so I usually rip right through socks in 6 months. And I think I've had the Leatherface ones since last summer, and they're still going, so that's a pretty big indicator of quality, at least for me. They are a little thin, What's nice though is you can kind of stretch them, and they don't really distort too much. Like some of the design socks that you see at places like Hot Topic or Spencer's, uh, like the way that they're printed, like if you go like this, you see how it kind of distorts white like a little bit? Well, on some of those other brand socks, like the white will just, the pattern will disappear and they look terrible, but not these. You know, these are, the Fright Rag socks are legit. So, and then we have the Ghostface shirt that was part of this order here. So they had like a big sale on Ghostface merch for some reason, and I was not fast enough to order the shirt that I really wanted, but I was able to get this one, which is still pretty cool. So I wasn't really a fan of Scream, like the first time I saw it, oh my god, almost 10 years ago, because I didn't quite get it yet, you know? I wasn't really that familiar with horror yet, and I've just been recently rewatching them, and it's like, okay, yeah, I see why everybody loved this. So it was a good thing I bid on the Ghostface shirt when I had the chance. So, because this was on sale, I think for like $10 or something suspiciously great. So, let's take a look. So, what's kind of nice about their tags is that they're like printed on, and they have a little bit of fun with the graphics too on the inside. So, and then the shirt itself is always like really like nice and comfortable. Like a lot of the stuff that you get from places at like the mall, the cotton feels kind of rough, but not Fright Rags. So it's like, actually it's sort of to the point where I can kind of tell where something came from. So like if I'm wearing some of the other shirts, which I'm about to show off, it's like, it's hard to describe, but they feel kind of coarser, like sort of like wearing like a scratchy sweater. But anyway, so that's it for the Fright Rag stuff, which, by the way, so I told them about my channel here, and they were cool enough to give us a code for like a little bit of a discount at their site. So if you want to go check them out, hey, 10% off. Now, strangely, like this says it's expired, but I checked it a few weeks ago, and the code is actually still good. So I don't know if that'll be the case when this video's live, but you know, give them a shot and tell them the crypt sent you. Okay, be more specific than that. It'd be cool if we could, you know, really help them out, because I just love their stuff so much. So plus I get stopped all the time. People are like, where did you get that shirt? And so that's actually a big reason why they gave me these. So I can just like hand them out. It's like, okay, here's the website. They sent me about 20 of them the first time I asked, and I ended up handing all of them out before February, and this was like around fall. So moving on from our Fright Rag stuff. So seemingly out of a desire to compete with places like Fright Rags, Cavity Colors, and man, there are a lot of online places that do horror clothing now. So thusly the stores at the mall like Spencer's and Hot Topic have kind of upped their game. And I didn't see anything I particularly wanted at Hot Topic recently, but Spencer's actually had a handful of decent shirts. So the first one that I found was this kind of stylized, like, Japanese poster sort of Nightmare on Elm Street thing. So, and usually a lot of the stuff that they had, like, I find tacky, but I really liked this because it was, like, different and somewhat unique, and it didn't look tacky. Like, that was my big thing. It's like, I would feel comfortable wearing this. So, also, I didn't realize it had sleeves when I first picked it out. I think maybe my only gripe with it is, let's see if we can flatten the sleeve out. It's like, if you look at the glove that's on the sleeve, I kind of wish I knew exactly what it said, too, so I'm just kind of Just kind of hoping it's not one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, that looks cool, but it means like soup or something. So it's like, doesn't that look kind of like the remake glove just a little bit? So it kind of made me wonder, it's like, wait a minute. But I think it's probably fine. Also, fun thing I discovered, this glows under a black light, so next time I'm at a rave, I think I'm going to wear this and just see what happens. So, because the letters glow, and even Freddy glows a little bit. So, my only kind of gripe with this was all the shirts there were like, $20. This was 30, and I didn't find that out until I was checking out, which was, I don't like surprises like that. And then, because it's kind of hard for me to find, I don't usually find Nightmare on Elm Street shirts that I actually like. And so, in that same trip, we picked this up from Spencer's as well. So, like, this art seemed really familiar to me. Like, I thought it might have been like a Mondo poster or something to that effect. And I really liked it. My only real gripe is that it has, like, Freddy, like, in big letters, like, at the top. It's like, we know it's Freddy. Do we need that? You know what I mean? But otherwise, like, it's pretty sweet. And I think this glows under a black light, too. I didn't get time to try it on, but in a little bit, like, I'll try this stuff on so you can see what it looks like, on a human. Maybe not the socks, but... And speaking of socks, Spencer's is... Well, it's kind of hard to know where to begin. So I started wearing, like, these character socks just because, like, I could pull them up really high on my legs for some reason. And it was kind of nice, like, on a cold day if I was, like, outside. It's like, oh, okay, cool. And then recently when I went into Spencer's, they had, like, a huge wall of, like, all these new character socks. So I picked up a couple. Now, they were kind of expensive, like, $13 a piece, which I think is even more than some of the better Fright Rag socks. But they had, like, their weird deal where it's like, buy one, get one half off. So it wasn't too bad. They averaged out to about 10-ish a piece after that. So the first ones I picked up were, like, these Pennywise socks. So I was kind of unsure, like, which design I wanted to go with. So I was like, you know what? I've got an idea. So my plan is to sort of, like, intermix, like, like, left leg, classic, right leg, new, and just kind of, like, see how that works. But, so I did kind of, like, the stretch test. I haven't opened these up yet. But, so far, they do distort, but they don't, like, color splay like I was talking about. And they seem fairly tough. I mean, they're kind of thick, which is nice. Where in the... Looking for my scissors, and they are gone, of course. Back? Yeah. So, let's snip this open here. So, well, they are much shorter than they actually look. And you know what I wonder? Let's try to flatten them out in a different way here. And yeah, it looks like they're about the same size as the Fright Rag socks. Even though I still think the Fright Rags are better quality. Like, they feel like they've got a good thickness to them. So, yeah, kind of better than you'd expect for the mall. And a little disconcerting, actually. Now that, like, now that these big companies are actually taking notice of the work that places like Fright Rags do. So they had quite a few different designs, too. Like, they had Freddy. They didn't have Leatherface, but they had Freddy. They had Myers. They had Jason. And Pinhead. And there were a couple other ones that I was considering. Like, there was such, like, a big variety of these that it was a little overwhelming almost. but as long as they're on sale when I go back, I'll probably pick a couple more up. So, well, with that, let's take a break and try some of this stuff on. Well, we're back with our first one, and as you can see, it's a little tight around here, so despite being, the right size. So it does feel a little bit rough, but maybe it'll get better after a wash. See, it wears fairly well. So, not a whole lot to that one. Turns out it does not glow under the black light, which was disappointing. But hey, it's still a pretty nice looking shirt. Now the Spencer's one for the sleeves is a little strange. So it's the same size, however this one feels a lot more loose. Well, especially on the sleeves, because my arms are deflated and atrophied beyond reason. But the designs on the sleeves actually look pretty nice, and this does look sweet under the black light, which I kind of wish we had here in the main crypt, but, we tried. So, even though it was substantially more expensive than the other one, I really kind of like what they're doing with this sort of design. And they had this really cool Pennywise one that I don't think I have any Pennywise gear aside from these socks, so I think I might pick that up next time I'm there. So, but it doesn't quite feel worth the $30, but very close. If this was, I think I'd still be happy paying $25 for this, which is pretty much what I did because they always have ridiculous offers at Spencer's. So, okay, we're gonna move on now to our Fright Rags shirt. And we're back with our Fright Rags Ghostface shirt, which just feels great and normal. So it's a little bit tight, but the kind of tight that, you wash it once and it'll be good. So, it feels much smoother than the Spencer shirts. So I'm not exactly sure, what the material composition is, but whatever Fright Rags uses, it's just flat out better than most of the stuff I wear. And the design actually looks really nice. It's, centered, reasonably where you can see it. Because sometimes I've had some shirts where the design will be kind of, down here, and I like to tuck my shirts in, so it'll have, the bottom of the art, cropped off, but this looks pretty much perfect, so, I'm really happy with this. And, kind of wish they had the one that I was looking for, which it's one of their vintage Halloween ones. Actually, you know what? Here, I can grab. This is another Fright Rags, which I wear all the time. So it's got these orange sleeves. It's like a baseball shirt. And they had one for Ghostface that was sort of this classic retro stylized design, just with Ghostface, stabbing some pumpkins or whatever. And I was not able to get to that one in time on the sale, and that made me very sad. But, I'm really happy with this one, and, it remains the best thing that we got in this whole round of pickups, I think. So, let's see if we can. I can't really pan the camera down because this place is a horrible mess, but we'll see if we can't cram some of these socks on. Adventure. Well, it was a bit of a challenge, but now we can actually do a comparison between, what exactly are these called anyway? Oh, they're just character socks from BioWorld. And then our Fright Rags socks here. So, you can see, kind of where I wear them. Both of the Vernon ones look pretty good. And the BioWorld ones look pretty good, too. Big key difference, though, is whatever these are made of, the BioWorld socks say, size 10 to 13 on the back. My ass. So these are actually, the BioWorld ones are actually very tight, and this was pretty difficult to get onto, my fat foot. So it kind of made me wonder, should I have actually bought like a bunch of these all at once? If I can barely get them on if I can barely put them on. I mean, because like they look good and they fit, they fit pretty good, like tight for sure. But like I had to really like work it up my foot to get it on. So it's not necessarily the most ringing endorsement. I mean, it does look pretty good though. I'll give it that. Whereas the Fright rags, as usual, being great. So like they're thinner, but they come on pretty easy. So I think I still would definitely recommend Fright rags over the BioWorld. Uh, about the only thing going against the Fright rags is that they're a little bit thin, and if I was a little too like rough on them, like pulling them up, like I did put a hole in one once doing that. So they're a little frail, but overall I think you just flat out get a better product, and plus like it stretches a lot better to like get it onto your foot. So that's kind of the comparison section of this. So man, that looks cool. And so yeah, they're pretty comparable, but overall I'd still recommend the Fright rags. So, well, that about does it for this video, I think. I've rambled on for quite a while, so, go check out frightrags.com. Watch the video for the code. You can pause it. It'll be fun. It's like a scavenger hunt. So, like, share, and subscribe, and we'll be back later.